Hi everybody, my name is John Kenline. I'm a horse trainer here in Gailton, Colorado, and what I want to do is talk to you about the Gailton Martingale. And the reason why I call it the Gailton Martingale, because that's where I live. But this Martingale is one of the handiest things that you can have if you're going to be training a horse. If you're just riding a horse and it has a little bit of an issue, this will assist you in achieving the goal that you want faster. And there's all sorts of theories on how to get a horse to flex, how to get a horse to stop. But there's one thing that you have to overcome. You have to overcome head position in order for you to communicate properly with the bridle. Now, this is basically, let's just kind of go over it. This is one that I use. I built this back in the early 80s, or the late 80s, I should say. And I've used it practically every day. So it's a little dirty, but it's still very solid and it's still very, very durable. It's easy to adjust. There's several knots go right down the middle, and it's tied into a middle ring, right, like here. And then this deal, one piece goes down and hooks onto the cinch right underneath there. You know, all cinches have a little D-ring on there. This just clips on it. And then you bring it up, and then you run your two bridle reins through the rings. Okay, so it's a training for it. Now, if you have a horse that's refusing to go, let's say you go to the right, he really works good going to the left, he flexes and he bends, he's real willing to go to the left, but to the right he wants to he wants to brace into it. He's not willing to give you that shoulder, he's not willing to contour his body. Then this little deal will help you through it at a faster pace. I mean, there's other ways you can do it. You can tie their head around, or you can sit there and you can put pressure on them, and as soon as they give, you know, there's all sorts of deals. But this deal will get them to give a lot faster. And the reason why is based on the pulley system. If you have a pulley and it's set in the correct position, you're going to be able, one man can lift 1,000 pounds of bricks with a pulley and a rope. So what this does, this allows you to exert the same amount of pressure that you're used to riding with. You got some light hands and you want to just be able to gather him up, use that pinky and gather him up, cue him with the bridle rein that you're going to ask him to turn. So you're going to increase the turn or increase the pressure by not increasing your pull, but by changing the dimension of this rope. All you got to do is take that knot, pop her out, drop that ring down, and slide her right to here. Slide her to the second or third knot. That drops that ring on the right side to where you have more pressure without increasing your pull. Savvy? Does that make sense? So you're riding along and this horse is doing this, going to the right. You drop that ring, you can do the same amount of pressure. It pulls down further, increases the pressure. So the first thing he does is drops his whole head. Now you got it. Now you can communicate. You can say, okay, I want you to turn. So he turns, and you flex, and you've accomplished your goal without cranking on him. Okay. And the beauty thing of this deal is if he's really good going to the right, or the left, you just leave him alone. You don't have to touch him. You don't have to do anything. You know, there's no need to force his whole head down because he's refusing on one little minor section of the whole picture. So this way you can leave his left side up and leave him alone, and he flexes. All you got to do is just gather him up, bring him around. And on the right side, you gather him up the same way, except the position of the pulley is different. And so you got more pressure, he gives and flexes. And then once you start thinking, okay, I think I got it whooped, the way you test yourself, pop that dude out, move it right back to the top knot, lengthen that out, and see what he does. Simple. And so that's basically it. If you got a horse that when you're asking him to stop, he throws his old nose out and trots on for a couple more steps or a couple more strides, doesn't really want to stop, or he's wanting to stop on his front end, or whatever you want to do, or whatever the problem is, you can adjust that equally on both reins so he could keep his head straight, but you still get him to flex. And once you get him to flex, then you got him under control. Okay? And this way you don't have the tie down, This way you're working on the problem instead of just covering it up. You work on the problem, you get them to respond by breaking at the pole, flexing at the pole down. It's a great thing. You're money ahead. This martingale, I've used all training forks. I've used the rubber kind that have the surgical hose. Them things actually do more damage in the long run than they do any good. They may look humane, but them horses can really get the bracing into it because you lose all your pressure. You're putting a little pressure down to where they can stretch that dude out. And what do you have to do? You have to stretch that thing all the way to the end before you can increase the pressure. Savvy? Or the other leather ones. There's some really good leather made out of harness leather ones. Very limited adjustment. And that leather gets sweaty and it breaks down. It starts ripping, the rings come out. They don't mind that because you go back and buy another one. Here's the last thing. This is the last fork that you're ever going to have to buy. And it's guaranteed, guaranteed for life. If you have any kind of problems with it, workmanship, just send it back. I'll replace it. I have replacement parts. We can replace the part that's bad. The only other thing that I do want to mention is that when you first get it, it's going to be a little loose. After you use it and get them a little wet, excuse me, get them a little wet, they stiffen up, and the knots are, they ain't going to go nowhere. So thanks again. I hope this little video encourages you to buy the best martingale, the best training fork out there on the market today. Thank you.